After playing a lovely underrated gem called Final Fantasy XII back in 2021, I then got myself a copy of Final Fantasy XV. I had heard all sorts about the game, from it being an underrated masterpiece to not even worth playing. A lot of mixed response. FF15 first started as Final Fantasy XIII Versus. However, as we all know, this did not come to fruition, and 13 Versus would be mainlined to Final Fantasy XV. Final Fantasy XV's first demo was released on the Day 1 edition of Final Fantasy Type 0 in March of 2015. This was the alpha build of the game. Japan then received their own exclusive demo titled Judgment Disc, which released on the 11th of November 2016. Japan also got the release of Kingsglaive in theatres of July of that same year. I think it's really cool that Japan released Kingsglaive before the actual game came out, because I feel like Kingsglaive explains certain questions and certain things, like obviously that the game's kind of doesn't. I'm not going to spoil it because you need to watch it. It's a very good film. Final Fantasy was then released worldwide on Xbox and PS4 on the 29th of November 2016 to a very mixed response, with people feeling that the game was rushed, especially towards the final act, seeming it wanted to end quicker than the fans did. FF15 was also very different because it was the first Final Fantasy game to be open world, very different from the games that came before it, at least for the first 9 chapters, and then it followed a more linear approach. On the 6th of March 2018, FF15 would bring out the Royal Edition to consoles and PC. This included updated brand new cutscenes and moments to help flesh out the story. The brand new added extended area of Insomnia for the final act of the game, adding more to the finale. All DLC previously released for the game, with announcements of brand new upcoming DLC for Luna Freya, Aranea, and the True Ending. But we're going to have to talk about that later. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about the good and the bad on Final Fantasy XV, my opinions and its untapped potential. So let's begin. Final Fantasy XV's combat and leveling system is drastically different from its previous games. FF10 had the turn-based combat with the sphere grid for leveling, while a title like FF12 had the gambit system with the Zodiac job board. FF15 has the active cross battle, so all battles and combat you face in the game are all in real time. You do have the option for the wait mode for combat, but I definitely prefer the active option. But future titles like FF7 Remake would bring this feature back. Combat can have mixed feelings of feeling fun and chaotic, but also clanky and at times quite messy. I am personally not a huge fan on the lock-on system. I just prefer a toggle than to hold the button all the time. It's a personal preference, but all battles I did have in the game are really fun, and I do enjoy when I'd have to get ready for a hunt or ready to fight Imperials invading me, or even a boss fight. Ability points are normally earned through Noctis's Ward Strike ability or just fighting enemies. Using the AP points, you can unlock all sorts of different abilities or stats for the party. In the techniques section, I loved Ignis's regroup ability that groups all party members together, healing and restoring MP at the same time. I'm pretty sure it's one of the best support abilities in the game. Or Gladio's Dawnhammer technique that launches a devastating attack on a single enemy. It's such a good damage ability. There is a lot to see in the ability points menu, so you can customize everyone to how you want them to play. I mentioned this earlier, but FF15 was the first in the series to be open world. So what can you do in the world of EOS? So other than the story progression quests, there are side quests to take part in, hunts like FF12. Doing these hunts offer great rewards and a lot more gil, so if you're saving up for something in a shop or need that extra gil, hunts are great to get extra gil and level up quick. Restaurants, diners, hotels, and caravans offer a place for Noctis and his friends to eat and relax. Different foods and recipes offer different stats, like increased damage or HP for a set time, which Ignis's hobby is cooking, so he can create the best dishes at camp along your journey. And resting places will offer the party a chance to level up with the XP they've earned so far. The Galden Quarry, I think I pronounced that right, gives you 2 times more XP, so it's a great place to stay, but very, very expensive. I did mention hobbies, and each of the boys have different ones. Noctis loves fishing, Gladio loves camping, Ignis loves cooking, and Prompto loves photography. I think my personal favorite hobbies out of the boys is definitely Gladio's camping and Prompto's photography. You're probably wondering how the boys are going to traverse the world, and thankfully they have a stylish car called the Regalia, which is one of the many transports of the game. There are of course others like our dear friends the Chocobos, flying, making the Regalia fly, or by boat. So even though the world of EOS is stunning and I love the open world in FF15, it can at times feel very empty. This is probably my only critique of the world. Everything else is great. It just could have done with a little bit more to do in the open world. On Noctis's journey through side quests and the main story, you'll be getting something called the Royal Arms, which you access in dungeons. So the dungeons in the game are so fun, they're great. I enjoy literally all of them, and they offer different challenges and different rewards. They're great. They're another huge part of why I like FF15. Final Fantasy XV's party consists of our main hero, Noctis, Prince of Lucis, and his 3 best friends, Gladio, the King's Shield, Ignis, the Royal Advisor, and Prompto, Noctis's high school best friend. These 4 characters are the biggest highlight of this title. A huge part of the game is their brotherly bond throughout the journey. It's something truly special with all of their individual struggles. Noctis trying to fulfill his destiny, Prompto coming to terms with his origins, Gladio trying to prove himself he is worthy of being the King's Shield, and Ignis's physical sacrifices for his friends. If I had to pick my favourite character other than Noctis, then it's Ignis. I have a special spot for him, what can I say? He is my favourite. The game's villain, Arden, is a fantastic villain. When I see people talking about the highlights of FF15, Arden is always in that conversation. He is a very complex villain. He has such a very tragic backstory in his DLC, but his actions in the game are not great either, especially when, spoiler alert, he kills the main heroine in a brutal way. He is a fantastic character, villain, and I love the theatrical flair he talks with. He's great. He is up there with some of the best Final Fantasy villains. Now, the game's heroine, Lunafreya the Oracle, is the definition of underutilized. Luna had the potential to be an iconic Final Fantasy heroine. We don't get to see as much of her in the game as we probably should have. While we were playing as Noctis on our little road trip, while we were camping or fishing or taking some really cool photographs, we could have had moments where we see Luna's struggles of her trying to fulfill her duties as the Oracle while on the run from the Empire, to help flesh out her struggles and help us as the audience sympathize with her more. The film that I mentioned earlier, Kingsglaive, definitely adds some more character definition to Luna with her struggles, her backstory, where she was when Insomnia fell, and with her brother. So Kingsglaive, you'll always get your 10s from me because at least you added some more to FF15. You know, Luna kind of reminds me of a certain someone from FF14 that people do dog on, and I know she's not the best character, but I do like her, and she used to pray that we would return to the Waking Sands. But I can at least say for Minfilia, she got a good kind of conclusion. She got a bit more of an arc than Luna. They did you dirty, Lunafreya, and you deserved better. The supporting cast is alright. I feel like there's only a few characters I really liked, with that being Aranea, Revis, Cindy, oh, and the King. I love the King. He is an icon and he will be protected at all costs. Oh, well, Aranea is just really cool. I love her design, her personality. She's sick. At first you think, oh, she's like evil, but then she's kind of like an anti-hero. And by the end of it, she's just still super cool. Love her. Revis is another tragic character. He is Luna Freya's brother. Kingsglaive explains his hatred towards Noctis and his family, which I'm really glad Kingsglaive, the film, exists, because in the game he's just like, oh yeah, he's now the High Commander in the Empire. Oh, and he hates Noctis. Oh, and he's hunting his sister. Oh, and he's a jerk. But I will say, he did grow on me in the game, and I always felt bad for him, especially with his demise. Yeah, with his demise, his fate, he didn't deserve that. And even though you're a jerk, Revis, you still have a really cool look, and you did deserve better. I will say that. Like all Final Fantasy stories, Final Fantasy 15's story is very long, so I'm gonna do what I do in most of my videos and do a quick summary of what's going on. So Noctis and his friends have been set off by Noctis's father, the king, to meet up with Noctis's childhood friend and bride-to-be, Luna Freya. I said Noctis a lot in that sentence. This wedding is both a wedding of true love and a political agreement, a political deal. While Noctis is on the road, a deal is being made between Insomnia, Noctis's homeland, and the Empire. However, just like the classics, there is a betrayal, and the Empire betray Insomnia, attacking it, causing it to fall, and killing King Regis, Noctis's father, in the process, as well as Luna Freya barely escaping the city to make her way to Altissia. So Noctis will try everything to reunite with his beloved Luna Freya, take back Insomnia and defeat the Empire, fulfill his destiny as the King of Kings, and defeat the evil villain that is Arden. When FF15's story shines, it shines bright, with some of the most heart-wrenching moments in the game and in the series as a whole. But there are points where the game feels like filler or not fully fulfilled enough, with the story missing small points that needed tying up or even explained more to us. The DLCs that were released do really help FF15 with certain questions, what was happening, what these certain characters were going through at certain points of the story, and I do think they really helped flesh out FF15 as a whole package. But unfortunately, future DLC would be cancelled. Hajime Tepe, the director of Final Fantasy XV, would leave Square Enix due to disagreements with higher-ups, announcing the news on the 2nd anniversary of Final Fantasy XV. The Dawn of the Future is a fantasy novel which contains the stories of the cancelled DLC. I have personally not read the book. I desperately need to get a copy, but I imagine fans who have got the book and have read the book have had more of a fulfilled experience with FF15. I feel like if this DLC did come out with obviously everything that we do have at the moment with films, the actual game, the DLCs that we do have, I feel like it would have been a true fulfilled masterpiece, but unfortunately we'll never know the heights it could have reached. Final Fantasy XV will always have a special place in my heart. I love most of the story, most of the characters and the world and gameplay. And looking back at Final Fantasy XVI, for example, I feel like 15 is a better game than 16. I know that's crazy probably to say, but I think it's a better title than 16, for example. Now, I know everyone wants a full version of Final Fantasy 13 Versus. What happens if I throw my 2 pence as well and say, maybe I want the Final Fantasy 15 director's cut where we get all the DLC and see its true untapped potential. Hi, just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. I hope you all had a Merry Christmas and I hope you have a Happy New Year. I'm very grateful for the support I've gotten over my videos the last couple of months, so I'm very excited to see what next year brings, and hopefully next year brings some amazing blessings for you all. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.